What's up guys, this is Nick here from Everything Tech, and today what we're going to talk about is the Moto E second generation 4G LTE. Now what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to first go over a hardware tour of the device, and then I'm going to do positive and negative aspects, and I will leave a timestamp down below in the description so you guys can personalize your viewing experience to make it a little bit easier if you don't got time to watch the whole video, or if you just want to skip to certain sections of this video. So check that out below in the description. Anyways, let's hop right in. So the front of the device, we have a 4.5 inch 960 by 540 display, and we have a front facing speaker, as well as this doubles as a mic as well, so you can hear other callers on the phone call. And we have a VGA camera right here. Going off to the side, you're going to see a ridged power button as well as a volume rocker. These are nice places, nicely done, Motorola. Going around back, you're going to have a 5 megapixel camera, and this is not a ring flash like you'll find on the Moto X and the Nexus 6. Up top, we have our 3.5 millimeter headset jack. Going down to the bottom, we have our micro USB port and Motorola's trademark dimple right there to rest your finger on when you're making text messages. Now, if you pop this back off, which is going to be located on this side of the device, it's going to be your left side, right side up. So let's pop off this bumper, which, by the way, you can get 3 different colors of these in the Motorola store, which are red, blue, and yellow. And if you go over to the side, this is where you're going to, it's actually the other side, this is where you're going to put your micro USB card or micro SD card. And then right here, you're going to put your SIM card, which is a micro SIM card, if you guys were wondering. So let's pop that back on the device and let's power her up. And it fits very nice and snugly once you get it all snapped in. It's a very nice snug fit, and it feels really solid, and it's a very comfortable, grippy phone to hold. And by the way, if you guys were wondering, while we power this thing up, we're going to hold for about 2 seconds. As you're going to see, powered by Android, Motorola. We're going to put that off to the side. And if you guys were wondering, I actually use the AT&T Go phone, which is actually on sale right now for $99 at Best Buy, or probably even cheaper somewhere. You can find it online. But that's the model I use. So let the thing power up real quick. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to give you my positive aspects of the phone first. Let this thing power up so you guys can kind of get a gist of how long it takes. Well, as you can see now, guys, she's all booted up, and I want to give you the positive aspects of the phone. Now, my positive aspects of this phone are going to be that this phone is very speedy. It's not a slow phone by any means. It comes with a Snapdragon 410 octa-core 64-bit processor. Basically, all that mumbo jumbo means is it's pretty blazing fast budget processor. It's not your fastest Snapdragon 800, which is going to give you the top-notch specs. But still, this processor on a phone 2 years ago would have been high-end, top-speed processor you can get on a high-end flagship phone. It has 1 gigabyte of RAM, but Lollipop 5.0, so that 1 gigabyte of RAM is not very much a problem for this phone. As you can see, things run pretty damn smoothly as I'm scrolling through. Animations are smooth, as you can see. Everything just runs pretty damn smooth on here. So another positive aspect of this phone is the comfort feeling in the hand. It's a 4.5-inch display phone, so it's a pretty compact size. It kind of goes back to the Moto X, the original Moto X, the OG, the first gen. That's the model this really feels like. It's pretty close. It's a little bit chunky. It's not the thinnest phone in the world, but it's got a nice heft, a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic quality phone you might think. And I also like the button placement. The button placement is actually another good thing about this phone. They're placed in nice spots, so it's just really easy to tap those buttons and get to them. Like I say, the ergonomics on this phone are amazing. The front-facing speaker is also a plus, although if you're on a phone call and you have some media might play, it might blast your ear off, so be careful with that. So that's one downfall. We'll get into the negative aspects, but having a front-facing speaker is always better than having a bottom speaker or a back speaker, if you will. Now let's get back in. Now let's get into some negative aspects of the phone. Some of my negative aspects of the phone are going to be that the phone doesn't have a sharp display. It has a clear, bright, colorful display, but it's not super sharp. It'll get the job done, but it's not going to wow anybody. Another thing is the overall design is nice, but once again, it's not, you get what you pay for. It doesn't really seem overly nice or very flashy. It's just a functional, ergonomic, nicely designed phone that's just going to get the job done. Another negative aspect of the phone are the cameras. Both sides, they're pretty crap if you're comparing them to a higher end phone. If you're just looking to get a budget camera, they're still going to work. Don't get me wrong. You can take pictures, you can Instagram, you can Facebook, and people probably aren't going to talk crap about your pictures. But deep down inside, when you are taking pictures, you're going to realize, man, I wish I had a little bit of a better camera. But really, you can't argue that you shouldn't even have a camera on a phone at this price. It's just ridiculous if we're going to talk about what you get bang for the buck. Now, I forgot to mention in my positive aspects about the micro SD expansion, and as well as the what was I gonna say? The fact that you can basically get upgradable versions of Lollipop, and you're always going to be running on the latest and greatest software. And also another one of those positive aspects is going to be the battery life. It's just amazing. This battery life down here is just amazing. So I'm saying you can get through a full day pretty damn easily on this phone. I would say full day, heavy usage all day, 4G LTE, you will make it through the day. And it does take a while to charge, but it doesn't take ridiculously long. It's just decently long. But overall, you're going to get all day battery life on this phone. So next thing we're going to go into is software. So it runs Lollipop 5.0, and I'm going to confirm that by going into settings. Actually, it's going to be 5.0.2, which is just some bug fixes of the original Lollipop. And as you can see, we got Lollipop Android on here. You can play your little Flappy Bird game if you would like, this ridiculously impossible game to play. So just going through the general UI, you can see everything just flies right open. And if you want to make it even faster, I'm sure you guys know about developer options and lowering the transition speeds and just making it fly, that's what I'm going to do because I'm using this as my main phone as a tester for this video anyway. So yeah, it's just pretty damn smooth. And actually, you wouldn't notice much of a difference in speed between this and a high-end phone if you're just doing everyday tasks. Honestly, you would not notice the difference between this and a Nexus 6 or LG G4 if you're just doing the regular Instagram and Facebook games. Actually, some games might be a little worse on here, but overall, you're not going to notice a huge difference in speed between this and a flagship phone, and that is amazing for $99. So I would say they did really upgrade this from the original Moto E, because the original Moto E was pretty laggy overall. It wasn't super laggy, but it had some lag, and I had it, so I know. I just didn't make a video on it because I didn't feel it was worth it at the time. No 4G LTE 2014, come on. So the next thing we're going to go on to is build quality. Build quality on this phone is sturdy. I mean, you hear that? It's just solid. You can drop this phone on the table, like nothing's gonna happen to it. This phone is just a really solid device. You might want to pick up a case from Motorola.com or the bumpers, but overall, this is just one heck of a phone. And if it breaks, it was only like $99 or $150 depending on your carrier. This thing doesn't cost more than $150 nowhere, and I've even seen it as low as $69.99 on Boost Mobile's network. So going into the next thing we're going to talk about is camera. So I'm going to take something. I took the phone away. Just give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to bring in some, let's see what I got here. I got some Adidas spray right here. So this is some body spray. I'm just going to put that right there. And you can actually open the camera from right here. Anywhere swiping from the right is going to open the camera. And as you can see, we're going to take a picture. I don't know if it's going to do us justice to see the quality, but overall, it's a decent picture. It'll get the job done. It's not going to be your greatest. Details all right. Now, the camera's not going to show this detail the same way, but there is some fuzziness. There is some graininess to it, but overall, like, it still takes a picture. So, like, really, there's nothing too much to complain about. Also, I want to mention some of the Motorola special features that you get with this phone, and those are going to be things such as active display that you've seen on the Moto X, which is pretty sweet for this being a budget phone. So I'm going to put this in my pocket and pull it out, because in order to activate this feature, you got to like turn it over or get that ambient sensor away from your body. So I'm going to pull it out, and as you can see, we have active display right there. Now you're going to be able to hold this to check notifications. I don't have any right now because I'm on airplane mode, but you can hold that to check notifications, the time, without even opening up the phone. Now, yes, this is an LCD display, so it might not have those battery saving features such as AMOLED might have, but overall, it's still going to give you that functionality where you can just check notifications, time, without even unlocking the device, and that's nice. Second thing you have is a double wrist flick to open the camera. So twice, and you're going to open the camera. And if you do it one more time, you're going to open that front-facing VGA camera. So we're going to go back to the front, and we're going to exit out of there. And I think there's a couple more, but those are the main features that I really noticed. If you go into settings, you could just go into Moto right here, and you could see action, display, notify you at a glance, adjust automatically, assist sleeping, meetings, and they have some few more features in there for your Moto. It's Moto, but basically this is stock Android with a couple of Motorola features overall. Now the performance of the device, going on to this section right now we're going to talk about, is, like I already said earlier, it's pretty blazing fast. Like, you're not going to have much of a problem. I'm not going to go do one of those Geekbench tests or nothing like that, but I'm just going to tell you the real world usage. If you're not running super heavy games, and I mean super heavy, like high intensity graphic games, you're not going to have even a slight frame per second drop. You're not going to have any lag really with this phone at all. It has a strong 4G LTE connection. Radios in this thing are great. And it connects to Wi-Fi pretty greatly too. So you can run most of the modern Android apps at this budget price. You're just going to have to take that hit on the camera. Going on to the next section, we're going to talk about call quality. Now, I had this phone for like a week, and I can tell you the call quality has been decent. It hasn't been the best. It always has a good radio. Connection is great. But overall, it doesn't have the HD quality voice, but it's not a bad calling experience. It's going to get the job done, and it's going to get the job done well. It's not, like I said, it's not great, but it's very acceptable. Very acceptable call quality. So what are my overall impressions of this device? My overall impressions of this device is it's a great device. It's a great follow-up to the original Moto E. It's not as good as the Moto X, but it might be worth considering over the Moto G if you want 4G LTE, not if you want a 5-inch screen and 720. Yes, the Moto G second generation I'm talking about here, guys, is a very competitive phone to this one. So this would be a hard choice to me. If you can live without that screen, this has a faster processor and a bigger battery than the second gen Moto G. So it might give you more for your dollar. But that's all up to you. That's a very subjective thing, but I would pick this over the Moto G second gen. I would not pick this over the Moto X or the Nexus 6, of course, because those are very high-end phones, but I would probably pick this over the Moto G second gen just because it's a lot cheaper and it gives you mostly the same stuff, and if you could live without that little bit of a sharper screen. So, and by the way, for you Pixel people, that's 245 PPI in here, same as what you would have got on something like the Galaxy S2 or the older HTC One X back in the day. So it's pretty good. So anyways, who should buy this device? If you just want an extra device to throw around, you know, just to have on the side, backup phone, or you're just on a really tight budget and this is all you can afford, is something really cheap. You don't want to spend a lot of money, but you still want to access all the applications that everybody else is accessing, and you don't want to sign contracts. The Moto E second generation is going to be a great option for you, and I stand by this, guys. Trust me, 5 stars on a budget front. Actually, yeah, 5 stars on a budget front. Now, as far as if I would only drop it maybe half a star just because it doesn't have a flash on the camera, and the camera could be a little bit better, you know, it could be better, but you know, you really can't, like I say, this is a device you can't really complain because what they're asking for, they're not asking a whole hell of a lot. It's pretty free. So anyway, guys, if that helped you out on deciding if you want to pick up a second generation Moto G LTE, and that's 4G, leave a thumbs up down below. Comment. If you got any questions about this phone, hit me up in the comments down below. I will answer you guys as fast as I can, and I will get in conversation with you about this device because I have used it a while now and I can pretty much answer all the questions you need to know. And anyway, guys, recommend this to people that you know if they need a cheap phone, or your parents or somebody needs a cheap Android phone, because it's getting to a point now where technology is becoming accessible to all. And that's a great thing. But now we just got to teach everybody how to use it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Subscribe for more videos like this. Peace.